Hi guys, so I was, with some people the other day, and the topic of bullying got brought up, and it, it made me kind of want to talk about it here, because I was bullied from, like, day one of kindergarten up until the day I dropped out in the middle of my sophomore year of high school. And, it just, when I was talking about it with that group, I was surprised, by this one guy whom I didn't really know all that well. Like, I mean, we met up at the same, Bible study group, like, every week for, like, the past few weeks now, but we hadn't really talked. Like, I think we know each other's names, and that's about it. And, he surprised me because he was angry at the people who bullied me, and I'm just like, wait, dude, you don't even know me. Why are you so angry on my behalf? Like, not that I'm not, not that, I'm ungrateful about it, because, I am, and because most people, when I was, going through school and being bullied, most people didn't care. Like, they didn't care that I would come home crying, like, nearly every day, and that, I would dread going to school, and it just, like, a lot of people don't understand why I hate it so much and why I'm, like, so against, like, ever really going back, because, I mean, when you live with that from when you're 4 or 5 years old until you're a teenager, it's one of those things where it's like, no, that is a toxic environment and I don't want to go back. And when I dropped out in the middle of my sophomore year, like, all of my friends and, like, even my sister, like, they gave me a hard time for dropping out. And, like, literally my mom was the only supportive one, so I felt kind of really alone in that time, and just, it really only took me till a few days ago to realize that, yeah, I left, but it wasn't me just giving up and just letting the bullies win. It was just me getting out of a toxic environment and just a situation that I couldn't handle anymore. It was just something that, I couldn't deal with. And somebody finally made me realize, it's like, yeah, sure, you left, but you left to protect yourself. And so just, it kind of made me feel a little bit better and, like, stop, giving myself a hard time and why I'm, like, so afraid to commit to things. Because, I'm afraid to commit to, like, certain things because I always think, well, if I couldn't handle school, why in the world do I think I can handle this? And so it's just like, well, you know what? I left because, I couldn't handle school, or at least I couldn't handle the people who were there. Like, the workload and everything, I could have done it. I could have. But it was the people there who were, like, stressing me out so much that I did not want to get out of bed in the mornings. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to deal with any of it. So everybody just made me realize it's like, yeah, sure, you left, but you were protecting yourself. So if anybody out there is getting bullied, and I don't even know why I said if, because there are people getting bullied, and if you happen to see this, if one of your available options is to leave, do it. I'm not saying that you can't handle it. Who knows, maybe you can. Maybe you are able to, but if you're, like, at the end of your rope and you have no idea how you're gonna get through the next day, talk to someone, talk to a teacher, a parent, whoever, someone who can help you, and just like get out, do what you can, and just leave, because you're not going to thank yourself for that later. You're going to hate yourself for it later. I mean, you'll feel bad about yourself because the bullies have been telling you for years, or maybe not years, but they've been telling you for a long while that, you're not worth it, or that you're not good enough, but you are. You are good enough. You are worth it. So just leave. Do what you can and leave. Leave, because, I mean, just, who wants to deal with that? Who wants somebody constantly telling them that, they're whatever they're saying, just whatever negative crap that they are dumping on you. No one wants that, and even if they're not saying anything, if they're just, like, physically hurting you, still, that's bad enough. That's basically someone telling you that, you deserve to be hit, and that's not true. That is not true. You don't deserve to be hit. School should be a place where you can go and feel safe. But with people walking around and, screaming insults in your face or hitting you, that's not safe. That's the opposite of safe, and who wants to live in that? So just do what you can. Save yourself, because if you won't save yourself, chances are, if somebody doesn't know that there's something wrong, no one can save you for you. So just, being bullied sucks, but at the end of the day, you have to choose how you're going to defend yourself. Whether it's by fighting back or just leaving. It doesn't matter, but just do what you can, and maybe it'll get better, maybe it won't, but you'll learn to deal one way or another. So just save yourself and do what you can, and if anybody gives you a hard time for leaving, ignore them, because they obviously have no idea what you are going through. They don't, and my sister has since apologized for giving me a hard time for leaving, because she finally realized, how shitty it had been for me. So just, you're gonna have to save yourself, because at the end of the day, yourself is the only person you have to rely on. And that sounds really sad, but if you don't tell anyone that you need help, chances are they're not going to see it. And as somebody who was bullied, I never told anyone. Like, people knew, my friends knew, but they just didn't know enough.